What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. It's like we never left, right? All-Star break coming up, going into the All-Star break. Phillies lost 2 straight series on the road going into it. Have a week off here. Don't really do much here. A lot of stuff happened during, not really much, but, Kyle Schwarber fucking wins the MVP of the All-Star game, blah, 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 blah. And then baseball finally comes back after the week off. You come home, you face Mike Trout in the Los Angeles Angels. Mike Trout comes back home again, and you lost the series again because a multitude of factors, a very much multitude of factors. You lost game 1 because of the combination of Jesus Luzardo not being able to pitch after 2 innings, and then you're not being able to hit with runners in scoring position. Game 2 you won, off the backs of Kyle Schwarber's grand slam and Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper also hit 2 home runs in the first game, so he had 3 home runs in this series. He didn't hit any today, but he had 3 home runs in this series. So Bryce Harper does look like he is finding himself again with the power, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing, because, not bad thing for Bryce Harper's standpoint, but it's a bad thing because when Bryce Harper is going nuclear, you're still not winning. You're still not winning when Bryce Harper's hitting home runs. I thought when Bryce Harper went nuclear, you won games. I thought that automatically included that you won games. No, because there's so many puzzles to this fucking pie, or pieces to this fucking pie, that I just can't comprehend. I just can't comprehend anything with this team because there's so much stupidity, there's so much blah, there's so much bad, there's so much ugly. It's so bad to watch. Jesus Luzardo, for some reason, against good teams, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball, and against mediocre and bad teams, he cannot figure anything out. He gets rocked all over the place, and he has like one good inning to where it's like, okay, this is going to be a good start for Jesus. Nope, because for some reason, he just completely loses it. Yesterday, Taijuan Walker was Taijuan Walker. Like I said, Kyle Schwarber's grand slam and Bryce Harper saved the day for you. And then for today, Ranger Suarez was not good. I don't care what the fucking umpire not calling strike 3 and all that stuff. Ranger Suarez was not good from the get-go. Dude just couldn't get outs. The dude did not have any out pitches. Once again, his velocity was down, and I understand Ranger Suarez isn't a flamethrower. He just isn't. He's not a flamethrower. His command was all over the place. He couldn't find the strike zone, and when he did find the strike zone, he was getting barreled up. And he was trying to sneak fastballs by people, and when his fastball velocity is down, and like I said, I understand he's not a flamethrower. He doesn't throw 95 to, high 90s. He doesn't do that. He throws in the low 90s, but, you can sneak a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball by people on the inside part of the plate. And when your velocity is down where he's throwing 89, 90, 91, you can't sneak that by people, and it's going to get barreled up. And that's exactly what happened to Ranger Suarez today. Yes, I understand. Umpire boned him in the bases loaded situation with Mike Trout. He walks in a run, and then eventually that inning gets completely away from Ranger. Here's another thing. Here's another thing that, like I say, I don't care about the umpire botching the strike 3 call. Yes, it should have been strike 3, blah, 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 blah. It did touch the strike zone. Don't allow bases loaded when you're facing the bottom of the lineup. Is that also something that I can point out? Don't allow bases loaded to the bottom of the lineup. Ranger, you're supposed to be one of our better pitchers, man. You can't blow up like that. And I understand that's putting way too much pressure on a guy that's been very good this year. I understand that. But it comes back to the point where when your good starting pitching is not perfect, you're not going to win the game. And Ranger Suarez was not good today. You didn't win the game. It doesn't matter the fact with the offense not being able to fucking score either, so that's also fucking standpoint right there. Once Ranger Suarez allowed 5 runs, you knew the game was over. You knew the game was over. Yeah, they came back yesterday, whoop-de-doo, that's a once in a blue moon with this version of this team. It just is. It just is. It just is. There's nothing else that I would have expected more. Yeah, yesterday was fun with Schwarber's grand slam and all that stuff and Bryce Harper's home run. Yesterday was fun. It was, and that was the first time in a little bit that I had fun with this team. And realistically, there's very few things that I do have fun with this team. One is Kyle Schwarber. Bryce Harper, if he does continue to get going, that will be fun to watch. And basically, Christopher Sanchez, the good version of Ranger Suarez, and Zach Wheeler. There's very few things that I enjoy watching about this team. It really just is. And with this lineup, it's a black hole after 4. It's a black hole after the 4th batter in your lineup. Because when you go from 5 through 9, there's nothing there. There is nothing there. Fucking they moved Brandon Marsh up in the lineup. That he's just not good enough. I understand he's been hitting a lot better, but still, it's not good enough. Max Kepler fucking sucks. I still don't understand why he's even on the fucking team. Bryson Stott sucks. He just does. He just does. I don't care about his defense at second base. The dude cannot hit a beach ball. He just can't. He is terrible at the plate. He is terrible at the fucking plate. He just is. I understand JT Realmuto has been having a really good month of July, and he had a good month of June as well. And still, he's just nowhere close to the same offensively. He just isn't. Now Alec Boehm's going to be out for a little bit. I think they said 3 weeks with the rib fracture, where they said before the All-Star break there wasn't a fracture there, and on the MRI before the All-Star break they said there wasn't a fucking fracture. But then all of a sudden he comes out of the All-Star break, there's a fucking fracture. What did he do? What happened in the span of the All-Star break that he did? Where there's a fucking fracture? Did they botch something, which I wouldn't be surprised with? Did they botch something, or did Alec Boehm do something stupid over the All-Star break to make that rib situation even worse than it was? Because how do you go from not finding anything in the MRI to just giving him a couple of days off and a couple of extra days off early before the All-Star break to coming into after the All-Star break, he plays one game and then doesn't play the rest of the games, but then he has a rib fracture? How does that happen? How does that happen? Either the Phillies missed something or Alec Boehm did something stupid over the All-Star break that made the rib situation worse. It really just is the case. That's the only thing that I can think of. It's a botch or Boehm did something stupid, which I wouldn't be surprised of either. That's just how it is with this fucking team. I don't even need to get into the bullpen. I really don't. We all know the bullpen stinks. We all know the bullpen stinks. It really just is the case. I don't have to go into any more detail of how bad the bullpen is. Like I keep saying, you have 1.5 guys that you probably trust, and the rest is bleh. It's not good. It is not good. And when you have starters that can't go deep in the games, when you're having Jesus Luzardo that cannot go deep into the ball game because he's getting barreled all over the place, yeah, you're going to have to use your bad bullpen arms. When Ranger Suarez can't go deep into the game, yeah, you're going to have to use your bad bullpen arms. Once again, comes back to when your starting rotation, when your pitchers aren't fucking perfect, you're not going to win the game. You're not going to win the game. You're not going to win the game. And as we get fucking closer to the trade deadline, once again, I'm going to keep reiterating the fucking fact they're not going to fix everything at the trade deadline. It's fucking impossible. It is impossible to fix everything at the trade deadline without destroying your entire farm system. And that is the situation that Dave Dombrowski put yourselves in because he didn't do anything in the offseason to address the flaws. To address anything that was a flaw on this team, he did not address it. You had to do something in center field to where we didn't have a Johan Rojas, Brandon Marsh platoon. You didn't do that. You ran back with a Johan Rojas, Brandon Marsh platoon. Oh yeah, you signed Max Kepler to a 1-year, $10 million contract. Look how that's paying off for you right now. So that's the other 1-year deal for a fucking hitter that comes back to haunt Dave Dombrowski because he could just never get those types of signings right. It started with fucking Josh Harrison, then it went to Whit Merrifield, and now it's fucking Max Kepler. And the money just kept going up for those guys. Josh Harrison was probably the cheaper contract, then Whit Merrifield for the 1-year deal, and then you gave $10 million to Max Kepler. And all of those have fucking backfired because all of those guys sucked. Whit Merrifield was on the back nine of his career, same thing with Josh Harrison, and now it's the same thing with Max Kepler. Max Kepler just cannot hit a baseball. He just cannot. Basically, the only 3 results that you can expect from Max Kepler is a pop-up, a fly-out, or grounding out. That's probably all that there is. Or you could probably influence the strikeout in there, probably. Maybe that could also factor into that case. But still, it all summarizes to Max Kepler being a fucking failure. And once again, another 1-year deal from Dave Dombrowski that sucks. Don't have to go into the Jordan Romano thing. We all know that, even though I don't think it was egregious at all in this series. I don't think he was used that much, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't matter to the fact that, once again, there was also stupidity on the base paths. I believe it was on Saturday's game, actually. It was Saturday's game where Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, they get on, second and third to start the game. And for some reason, on a Bryce Harper chopper to second base, both of those guys are going on contact. And they both get out. They get tagged out. Kyle Schwarber gets thrown out at third base or tagged out going to third base, and then it forces Trey Turner to get into a rundown because for some reason they're both going on contact. Do you understand what that? Do you understand that? Like all the things that you can lay out how dumb this team is. There's like so many things that you can just point out game after game after game after game on just stupidness that you just see with this team. And it just like makes you like just wonder in the back of your mind, like how the fuck does this front office think that this is a World Series contending team? I don't see it. And the only thing that works to their benefit is the Mets that they just throw up all over themselves. That's the truth. The Mets completely throw up all over themselves. The Braves stink. The Marlins stink. The Nats stink. That's the only reason. Because there's nothing consistent with this fucking division. That's the only reason why you're involved. And your starting pitching is the only reason why you're involved. Don't want to throw that out of there. It just, the Angels were uber aggressive in this series. They hit a bunch of home runs. I think they're actually one of the team that hit the most home runs in Major League Baseball, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a fact or a stat or it's something like that. I don't fucking know off the top of my head. Taylor Ward hitting the ball over the place, and that makes people want to go out and trade for Taylor Ward. Same thing with Soler. Same thing with Joe Adele. Even people are trying to fucking convince themselves about Mike Trout. It's ridiculous. With Bohm injured, and Bohm wasn't doing anything spectacular for this offense either. I know he's improved his numbers this year, but without Bohm now in the lineup, your top four after that, it's a complete black hole. It's a complete black hole. It's not a major league caliber lineup. It just isn't. And you expect to compete with the lineup that you're putting out there now on the day-to-day basis without Alec Bohm. How do you expect to be good? How do you expect to get consistent offense when you have a black hole 5 through 9, and then that puts even more pressure on your top 4 guys to do stuff, and then when they don't do stuff, it just makes it even look worse. Like, how do you construct a lineup like that? I just want to know. And no, I'm not putting any blame on Rob Thompson on that standpoint because he's going with the hand that he's dealt because he has nothing else. It really just is a fact. And this, honest to God, for this game too, going into the Ranger Suarez stuff, this it'll probably make the argument to put him in the bullpen. It really would make the argument to put him in the bullpen. Because I know now basically the 2 pitchers that you're talking about with the bullpen are Ranger Suarez and Jesus Luzardo. So I don't know where you go from there. I really don't. Because we don't know when Aaron Nola's coming back. And and this rotation, I know people don't like Aaron Nola for some reason. A healthy Aaron Nola this rotation needs. Because people just seem to not value inning eaters. And Aaron Nola is more than just an inning eater. The way that he was bad for before he got injured, that's not Aaron Nola. That's not who Aaron Nola is. You could probably equate to him being hurt is the reason why he pitched so bad. People think that all the runs that he gave up in the start that before he went on the IL, that's who Aaron Nola is. No, that's not who Aaron Nola is. This rotation needs a healthy Aaron Nola. And if Aaron Nola does come back to this rotation healthy, that'll bolster the rotation 100%. And whatever happens, happens. Because you can't have Taijuan Walker in the rotation consistently. Andrew Painter's fucking not ready. I'm sorry to tell you that to people. Andrew Painter's not ready. Andrew Painter is not ready. The dude has a 5 ERA in AAA. He has a 5 ERA in AAA. His command's all over the place. He's not ready. He's not ready. I know Mick Abel has been better in the 2 starts when he got sent down, so I don't know if they're going to keep him down there just to keep his trade value high. It's the same thing with fucking Justin Crawford. Are they just not calling up Justin Crawford because they want to keep his trade value very high? I don't know. I really don't know. I think I saw they just promoted the Eduardo Tate guy, Tait, to the high Class A Jersey Shore. So I don't know if that fucking means anything. I just cannot stand watching this team. Gotta be honest with you, I just cannot stand watching this team on a daily basis right now. It just feels like a chore. It feels like a chore to watch. I don't have fun watching this team. I really don't. I really don't have fun watching this team. Because they're not entertaining. At all. At all. They're not. They have one guy that can hit for power, and yes, if Bryce Harper is figuring it out now, it looks like he's starting to get comfortable with the power, and it doesn't look like the wrist right now is the issue. But the question then becomes, when does the wrist start to bother him again? So that's just something that lingers in the back of the mind. But yes, if Bryce Harper starts hitting for power, and you add that with Schwarber, it definitely helps your lineup. But still, it's not enough. Like this series even proved it with Bryce Harper hitting for fucking power. You didn't win the series. You just didn't. Because you can't do anything else with hitting. If we just look through the game, if we just look for these games, just look at everything. You were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. In game 1, Bryce Harper was 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs, with 2 home runs. How do you not win that game? How do you not win that game? Because Jesus Luzardo only went 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs allowed, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts on 92 pitches. Lazar comes in, finishes off whatever. Romano actually had a clean inning, which was very surprising. Tanner Banks allowed 2 runs. So Tanner Banks was the reason from the bullpen why you lost the game. Robert came in, Ross came in, which was shocking. Those guys got clean innings. But just looking throughout the game, Schwarber has the home run to start the bottom of the first inning, put you up 1-0. Soler then ties it 1-1. Castellanos with a leadoff walk, JT with a single. You have first and second with 1 out for Max Kepler. He grounds into a double play. Bottom of the third inning, Trey Turner with a single, Kyle Schwarber with a walk. Bryce Harper hits a 3-run home run on a very long at bat. Worked the count, fouled off a couple of pitches. It was a 3-2 count. He got a hanging sweeper on the top of the zone, and he crushed it. And he, put the Phillies up 4-1. But then Joe Adell homers, 2-run shot after Trout with a leadoff double, became 4-3. JT Realmuto had a leadoff double in the bottom of the fourth. He didn't score. Not shocking. Then you go top 5. Newman with a 1-out single. Nito grabs it to a fielder's choice. So you have 2 outs here, and this is where everything breaks down. Trout has an RBI single. 4-4. Ward walks. There was bases loaded in this situation. Lazar gets out of it. Bottom 5. Harper with a 1-out double. Does not score. He gets to third base. He doesn't score. Romano didn't allow a run. Bottom 6, you go down 1-2-3. Tanner Banks allows the 2-run home run in the top of the 7th inning. The Ward 6-4. Go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bottom 8, Harper with another home run. Makes it a 1-run game. Then you go 1-2-3 after that. And then bottom 9, you go down 1-2-3. So you couldn't do anything else. You just didn't hit. You just didn't hit when it mattered. Game 1, Trey Turner 1 for 4. Kyle Schwarber 1 for 3 with a walk and a home run. Bryce Harper 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. But look at the rest of it. Bohm 0 for 4. Castellanos 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Brendan Marsh 0 for 4. JT 2 for 4. Kepler 0 for 4. Stott 0 for 2. Then got pinched hit for Edmundo Sosa. He went 0 for 2. Just not good. Just not good. Then you go to yesterday's game. You do win that one 9-5. But Taijuan Walker was not good. He got through 2-3 innings scoreless, and then the 4th inning he just completely blew up. 4 hits, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed on 70 pitches for Walker. Robert comes in for the 5th inning, clean inning for him. Seth Johnson allows a run. Kerkering allows a run to score. Banks had a clean inning. Strom had a clean inning to close it out. If you go through the game, Walker allowed a couple of base runners, got out of the top of the first clean. Bottom of the first, that's when the stupid base running from Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner happened for some reason, where they're going on contact with nobody out. I just don't understand why that's the case. I really don't. Bryce Harper eventually, I think, got the second base on this situation. Castellanos then got an RBI single. Made it 1-0, but it could have been way fucking more if you were just fucking smart on the base pass, which this team is not. So, that happened. Taijuan Walker, no runs in the top of the 2nd inning. Bottom 2, Kemp with a leadoff double. Next 3 guys strike out: Sosa, Marsh, and Rojas. Top 3, 1-2-3 inning for Taijuan Walker. Bottom 3rd, Harper with a 2-out double, does not score. Top 4, this is when everything breaks down for Taijuan. Ward homers, Adell homers, back-to-back, it's 2-1 Angels, and then eventually another run scores on a Nito single, becomes 3-1. Bottom 4, Phillies don't do anything after a 2-out Sosa walk. Robert gets the 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 5th. Then you go bottom 5, Rojas with a leadoff walk. He advances to second base on a wild pitch. Turner then singles to score. Rojas becomes 3-2. Nothing happens after that. Top 6, Johnson on the mound. Moncada hits a home run. Becomes 4-2 Angels. Then you go bottom 6. JT with a leadoff single. Kemp gets hit by a pitch. Marsh then walks, which loads the bases. Johan Rojas actually put the ball in play. He got a sacrifice fly, became 4-3. Trey Turner, he walked. Load the bases up for Kyle Schwarber. It's a grand slam. Wall scraper. Grand slam regardless. It's 7-4 Phillies, and that's basically where the ball game would go. Kerkering came on for the top of the 7th inning. He allowed a run to score on an RBI double, became 7-5. Phillies go down 1-2-3 in the 7th. Banks gets 1-2-3 in the 8th. Then you go bottom 8. Bryce Harper with a 2-run shot after a 2-out Kyle Schwarber walk, became 9-5, and then Matt Strom got the 1-2-3 in the 9th. So you get the win. Trey Turner 1-for-3 with an RBI. Kyle Schwarber 2-for-4 with the grand slam. Bryce Harper 2-for-4 with a 2-run shot. Nick Castellanos 2-for-4. So your top of the lineup actually did things and you won the game. JT 1-for-4. Kemp 1-for-3. Sosa 0-for-3 with a walk. Brendan Marsh 0-for-3 with a walk, and Johan Rojas 0-for-2 with a sac fly and a walk. You went 3-for-11 with runners in scoring position, so you still can't hit with runners in scoring position. The home runs helped you in yesterday's ball game. Then you go to today's game. Just not good again. Not good once again. 1-for-5 with runners in scoring position. You barely got any hits. You had 6 hits in totality in today's ball game. Ranger Suarez was not good. 4 in the 3rd innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs allowed, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts on 100 pitches. Not good. Not good at all. His command was all over the place. And I understand people want to complain about the umpire with the strike 3 call. That wasn't called the Mike Trout. Don't allow bases loaded to the bottom of the lineup. Don't allow bases loaded to the bottom of the lineup. It's just honest. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. That's how I feel. I'm sorry. Joe Ross comes in, allows a run. Seth Johnson comes in, allows a run, unearned run, might I add. Romano comes in, actually had a clean inning for surprisingly. Lazar came in, allowed a hit, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day right there. It just, everything was just crazy, out of control. Bottom first, Schwarber with a 1-out single. Harper grounds into a fielder's choice, which then was an error because the second baseman for the Angels threw it into left field. So he had 1st and 3rd with 1 out for Nick Castellanos, and he just makes up for it with a double play. So yeah, missed opportunity right there. Then you go top 2nd. And this is where everything blew up for Ranger. Ohapi with a single, Rengifo with a single, Newman with a single, bottom of the lineup. Nato then singles, scored 1 run. Wade then flew out, too shallow enough to score the run. Trout walked, which people could, argue about with the lack of the strike 3 call, which, yes, should have happened. I'm not denying it. It should have been a strike 3 call, blah, 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 blah. But still, don't allow 3 straight singles to the bottom of the lineup. Ward then had a bases clearing double, scored, make it 5-0. Phillies got a run in the bottom of the 2nd. Marsh with a leadoff single. He eventually got the 3rd, and Marchand went an RBI single. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Bottom 3, you go down 1-2-3. Top 4, sacrifice fly from Mike Trout, became 6-1. Bottom 4, you don't do anything after a Kemp single. Top 5, there was base runners, but nothing happened there. Ranger Suarez eventually left the game in the 5th inning after just so many pitches. Top 6, Wade Jr. with a home run and then nothing else there. Otto Kemp had a home run in the bottom of the 6th inning. His 2nd Major League home run, good for him. It just doesn't do me anything. Top 7, Angels made it 8-2, and then basically that is the rest of your ball game. It's just crazy. Turner 1-for-4, Schwarber 1-for-4, Harper 0-for-4, Castellanos 0-for-4, Marsh 1-for-4, Kemp 2-for-4 with a home run, Kepler 0-for-4. Those numbers just keep going down for Kepler. Just keep going dwindling down. Marchand 1-for-3 with an RBI, then Stott 0-for-1 with 2 walks. Joy. I don't have fun watching this team, as you can tell, from my very milquetoast attitude. I just can't scream. I really can't. I'm tired of screaming. I'm just annoyed. I can't scream at this team. I can't yell at this team every single video. Then I wouldn't have a voice. And that would be a disservice to you guys. I wouldn't have a voice. It'd probably be more entertaining for you guys if I didn't have a voice from screaming too much. But I don't want to do that to myself. I just don't. Do I think this team deserves that type of energy? They probably do. But I just don't feel like bringing that energy out. Sorry. I apologize for that. But, there's so many things that just, also get under my skin. And this comes from also during this weekend as well, when, a lot of the stuff comes up with, the Kyle Schwarber extension and all that stuff, because the Phillies should have extended Kyle Schwarber fucking ages ago. They really just should. There's no argument against not bringing back Kyle Schwarber. There really isn't. Because He is your best fucking hitter at this point. He is your best power hitter. He is your only power hitter at this point. He's probably going to hit 50 home runs this year, and that price is just going to keep going up. And realistically, you probably don't have to worry about much with his bat declining, because if Kyle Schwarber just stays a DH, you can pay him. If he's just strictly a DH, you can pay him. You can pay him to be a DH, and that wouldn't bother me one bit. Kyle Schwarber should have been fucking extended eons ago. And just things in the back of my mind when I hear some people talk, when I just look at what they sound like and all that crap, I just don't feel confident that they're going to extend him. I just don't see it happening, because it should have fucking happened by now. It should have happened in the freaking offseason. It should have happened at spring training, blah, 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 blah. And the more that Kyle Schwarber has a fantastic year, the more his price is just going to go up. And the more his price is going to go up, my fear is John Middleton is going to fucking cheap out and not want to pay him. Even though he puts out a quote and talking about Kyle Schwarber, he put this out on yesterday's ball game, I believe. There is nothing Kyle Schwarber does that surprises us. No matter how great he is, you expect that from Kyle, and he's a great person in the dugout. He's a great person in the clubhouse. We love him. We want to keep him. We don't need any motivation whatsoever. Then what's taking you so long to extend him? What is taking you so long to extend him? That's the biggest question right there. But then there was also talk about Kyle Schwarber, I think, talking about contract extensions. He doesn't want any distractions during the regular season. He just rather put that off to the offseason. So maybe that's what's holding it back or whatever it is. But then there's also talk about, during the offseason, the Phillies maybe lowballed Kyle Schwarber and all that stuff. I have no fucking clue. But then when it comes to the fact where Bryce Harper, when you have GM Bryce Harper, and that's probably the best thing that you can get out of this, because when Bryce Harper is demanding that you bring back Kyle Schwarber, you should fucking do it. Because Bryce Harper came out yesterday saying, one of the best teammates I've ever had around, and one of the better guys I've ever played with, so I can't see him in any other uniform, and I think he deserves to be here. When Bryce Harper comes out and says that, you should probably fucking extend him. You should probably do anything you possibly can to extend him. You probably should. Because if you want to, in theory, I'm not saying it will, in theory, keep your window open as long as possible, because when you're looking at everything right here, your window is when Zach Wheeler's contract runs out. And that's not a long time. That's 2 years. That's after this year, that's 2 years. That is 2 years. Because after Zach Wheeler's contract is done, he's gone, he's finito, he said that, he's retiring after that contract. You just, money shouldn't be an option. Money should not be an option with John Middleton. He's cheaping out. Yeah, he has spent money. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that John Middleton has spent money. He spent a bunch of money. He's not spending enough. He's not spending enough of money. He has his limits. He doesn't want to go too much over luxury taxes. He doesn't want to go too much of this. He's penny pinching right now. And I think that's what's happening with Kyle Schwarber. He's penny pinching right now, when he shouldn't be. At this point, if you want anything to get your World Series trophy fucking back, you should be giving out any type of contract that you need to give out. Money should not be a fucking option. You're a fucking billionaire. You should be able to afford all this stuff. And you'll get the money revenue back from people buying tickets. You just will. You'll get money revenue back from playoffs. You'll get money revenue back from people buying tickets. It shouldn't be in a question. The Dodgers don't have any issue going out there and spending a bunch of fucking money, you know what I mean? The Dodgers don't have any issue about that. And granted, they've been deferring a lot of their contracts. Still, it shouldn't hold you back from going out and spending money. From going out and spending for the fans that fill your ballpark up every single fucking game. Because Citizens Bank Park is packed every fucking game. So you're denying the fans the chance of just, spend on the players. Make your team as good as possible. And if you got to spend a lot of money to do that, spend a lot of money to do that. If you have to splurge your fucking prospect system, splurge your prospect system. It's just to the fact that John Middleton doesn't want... This is probably his mindset. Most likely is the case. He doesn't want another stretch of baseball from 2013 to 2017 where it was just completely abysmal. He doesn't want that. And yes, from another standpoint, yes, That does make sense. But when your team is trying to win a World Series, you can't penny pinch on keeping prospects. You just can't. You just cannot. Justin Crawford should have been gone last year. Aiden Miller, you could probably trade him. McAble should have been gone. Some of these trade deadlines where you could have gone out there and gotten better pieces instead of going through the margins and making your team marginally better, trade some better prospects, get some better players in return. It's what you should be doing. It's realistically what you should have been doing all along. And John Middleton doesn't want to do that. Now, is he going to do it this offseason? Point remains to be seen. I still don't think it's going to happen. Now, will they probably make more trades this year? They're probably going to have to. They're probably going to be desperate enough to do it. I don't know what players they're going to go after, though. I really don't. Yeah, they're still eyeballing the Minnesota Twins. I think there was someone tweeted out there that the Phillies have scouts there at a Twins game or something like that. So, yeah, they're probably still keeping their eyes on the AL Central and all that crap. How much bullpen help are they realistically going to get? How many batters are they realistically going to get? You're not going to solve all that at the trade deadline. You're just not, because you put yourself in such a bad spot. You really did. You put yourself in such a bad spot. It's your own fault that you did this to yourself. It's your own fault because you did this to yourself. But who knows, maybe with Bryce Harper saying it, it puts the team into a different gear. Maybe Bryce Harper gets a little pissed off and he threatens people. I don't know. I really don't know. I know you're saying in the chat about Cody Clemens. Cody Clemens wouldn't have solved this lineup either. I know he's hit more home runs. He wouldn't have solved this lineup. I know you're not saying that either, but Cody Clemens wouldn't have fixed any issues. People keep talking about Joe Adell and Taylor Ward as trade options. I don't know. Eugenio Suarez hits his 34th home run of the season today. He's probably going to be the top trade candidate for a bat in the trade deadline. I highly doubt the Phillies are going to go after him. I just don't see it, because even though Alec Bohm is injured, it still shouldn't hold you back from making the biggest trade possible. They're just not going to do it. They're really just not going to do it. I just don't see it. I really don't. And your schedule, you're playing a lot of American League teams for the very long stretch until like the middle of August. So you're going to be seeing a lot of the American League upcoming. You got the Boston Red Sox this week, the New York Yankees next weekend, Chicago White Sox, Detroit Tigers, Baltimore Orioles, Texas Rangers. Then you get to the middle of August where you see the Reds, Nationals a few times, Mariners. Then you get to the end where you see the Braves, the Brewers again. Then you get to the rest of it. And the trade deadline is July 31st, and you do not play on July 31st. That's the day after you play the Chicago White Sox for that 3-game set. So you have 3 series until the trade deadline. 1 at home and 2 on the road. Boston Red Sox, you got Zach Wheeler and Walker Buehler. Tuesday's Christopher Sanchez against Richard Fitz. And then Wednesday is Jesus Luzardo against Lucas Giolito. So you're not even seeing why am I blanking on his name? Garrett Crochet. You're not going to see Garrett Crochet at all. So yeah, you got a break there, but still the Boston Red Sox, they're not world beaters. They're just above 500. They have been playing better. They're bringing a lot of their prospects up. But still, Boston, in theory, should be a beatable team, but I don't trust this Phillies team. What is Boston record again? 54-47. They're not that far behind the Phillies in record-wise. 56-43. They're kind of comparable. Then you have the New York Yankees in the Bronx. Taijuan Walker's going to pitch on Friday. Oh, God, that's a nationally televised game on Apple Television. Oh, God, that's going to suck. That is going to suck. Then you have Ranger Suarez on Saturday, Zach Wheeler on Sunday. Those pitchers that you'll be going up against are Will Warren, Marcus Stroman, and Cam Schitler. So those are the pitchers that you will be facing. You're not facing Max Fried or anything like that, or Carlos Rodon. So you're getting the back end of the Yankees rotation, which hasn't been good for them this year. But still, they'll probably dice the Phillies up because it's the Phillies lineup. The Chicago White Sox, that should be demanded sweep. If you don't sweep the Chicago White Sox, you have issues, and we already know this team has issues. Detroit, they're the best team in baseball. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, the pitching matchups aren't going to be posted for that far ahead, but it's just like Baltimore, they're not good. Texas, they're the. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why I'm even looking that far into the schedule because this Phillies team just pisses me off that much. They really just do. They really just do. It's annoying. It is annoying. Phillies outfielders in this series against the Angels, 3 for 24 with 2 RBIs, a 125 average. The Angels outfielders in this series, 11 for 33. That's a 333 average, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs. I want to see something actually with the Angels and their home runs. Are they one of the top teams in terms of hitting home runs this year? Are they? Yes, they are. They're fourth. They are. They're fourth. They are fourth. They have 145 home runs behind the Dodgers, Cubs, and the Yankees. Phillies, they're 16th in terms of hitting the long ball. Tied for 16th with the Reds, 107. Jesus. Teams that they're behind, just look at the top 15 teams. Yankees, Cubs, Dodgers, Angels, Diamondbacks, Mariners, Athletics, Mets, Tigers, Red Sox, Twins, Orioles, Astros, Rays, Braves, Reds, Phillies. Ugh, it's not good. Not good, I'll tell you that. My goodness. Anything else? Anything else that I want to complain about? Because a lot of things that we should be complaining about with this team. I know the MLB draft happened as well. Did we talk about the MLB draft? I think we did. I think we talked about the first round possibly after their game against San Diego. I think we did. But still, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Just, they're annoying. 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 Just really, they are. Are they still going to go after Johan Duran? Are they going to go after anybody else? I have no fucking clue. I just don't see it happening, man. I really don't. What else? What else? What else? What else? No, I don't see anything on the Twitterverse. This team's just fucking annoying. They are. But they keep on playing. We'll keep on recapping. And that's the bottom line. Red Sox this week. Red Sox this week. I will also be at Wednesday's game. So we got 2 6:45 games and Wednesday's 7:05. Why is Wednesday 7 o'clock and not the other two? Weird. Very weird. Odd. Wonder if there's a reason for it. Wonder if there's a reason for it, but who knows? I don't fucking care. I'm just trying to think of things. Oh yeah, Suarez. Eugenio Suarez would help the lineup, but yeah, you still need outfield help, and that's probably what, if they do get a bat, that's probably what they prioritize. Don't see anything else. No. Let's see. Let's go through the chat right here. We don't have anything on the anytime hotline. No, we don't. No, we do not. Rob couldn't wait for my rant. Is that all you tune in for, Rob ranting? Is that all you want to tune in for? Yep. 3 series losses in a row. Oh yeah, Kepler should never touch the field ever again, but he will. They won't DFA him until after the trade deadline. That's probably going to be the case. He's probably going to stay up here because they have no other choice. Oh yeah, they also brought up fucking Weston Wilson again. Not fun. Fun. If they don't win the division, they aren't making the playoffs. I just don't feel it. They just have too many holes. What's their standings wise in the wild card race if they're still involved there? Well, right now they're a half game above the Mets. I'm assuming the Mets won this final game that they were playing. Who did they play? Who did they play this week? Did they play the Reds? Yeah. Did they lose that series though? I think they lost that series. Yeah, they lost that series to the Reds, and now they're playing the Angels too. So who knows where the fuck that's gonna go. Half game above the Mets. And in terms of the wild card, where are the Mets at? Because we would probably be slotted in the same spot as the Mets. So Mets right now are in the second wild card spot, and they're a game and a half above the second wild card spot. And then the Brewers are holding on to that first wild card spot by 4.5 games. So realistically, it's the second wild card spot that you're getting. And then the Padres, they're in the third wild card spot. They're 2.5 games up on the other two teams that are on the outside looking in, which is the Giants, the Reds. The Cardinals are 3 games back. Then it's the Diamondbacks who are 5 games back. Blah 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 blah. So that's that. And yeah, that's really it right there. So realistically, I still think they do make the playoffs because I just don't, because the Giants, their lineup is just that bad. Like their run differential is a +8, and they've also lost 5 in a row. So that's also a reason why. The Reds, I really can't believe in them. I just can't. The Padres, they're a very good road home team. They're not good on the road. I know we just lost a series to them in San Diego. Blah blah blah. They're probably still going to make the playoffs on the regardless, unless they just completely implode. The Phillies, that is. I don't know. I don't know. Ranger isn't a starter. He's in denial. He fades every year because he can't handle the innings as the amount. But what's the offense excuse? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. There's photos online of Bohm jumping into the ocean or lake or something off of a boat. I don't know if that's the truth, but I wouldn't doubt it. I did think I saw photos like that as well. I think I did. And if that's the case, he's a fucking moron. If he had like a rib issue. Look at the schedule. Only gets harder except the White Sox, which wouldn't be shocked if the Phillies lost 2 of 3 to them. What else? Better see at least some improvements come Thursday. That's not going to happen. They're not going to make any trade deadline moves this early. I just don't see that happening. They aren't an intelligent team. They aren't. I agree with that, R Seeker. They are not. They scored 16 runs in this series because of Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, and they were 11 of them. That is sad. That is really sad. This is the most frustrated I've been at a first place team in my life. Just bad everything with a couple of future Hall of Famers in the line. The problem is they have 5 DHs on the team. Middleton just likes to run his mouth. The stadium will start being empty again, so enjoy that. I don't think it'll get empty that quickly. I know people like to throw at that the stadium will just get empty like that. It won't. It'll take a little bit for that to get empty because people will still think, oh, like the casual fan. Because think about, like, is this like? Yeah, of course, there's like season ticket holders filled throughout Citizens Bank Park. Of course, there's diehards there that probably go to a lot of games, of course. But I would say at least like half of that's also casual fans and all that stuff, and people that just like to go to baseball games. The ballpark's still gonna be packed for a little bit because the team remains competitive. The ballpark will be packed. That's just the way it is. That's just the way. Unless they like truly, truly, truly suck, if they get into the bottom parts of the division, that's when people won't start showing up. But as long as you have guys like Bryce Harper on the team, they're still going to sell tickets. That's just the case. So I don't think the fact of them is the ballpark's still gonna be packed. That's the thing. I might have to get replica Eagles Super Bowl ring just to cope with this team. Yeah, they should have done everything in the off season. It put you in such a worse hole. The only 2 teams I can see winning the World Series this year are the Cubs and the Dodgers. I don't know, man. Baseball just sucks this year. Baseball's just bad. Like, overall, baseball is just bad this year. Like, the Dodgers, they've been losing a lot more. I think they went on like a 7-8 game losing streak or something like that. Mookie Betts has not been good for them. They're still, their pitching still isn't the best. I really just, I cannot tell you who wins the World Series this year. I really don't, and that's probably why the Phillies are going to go busters at the deadline. The definition of what busters means, because still this league is wide open, because that's just how bad baseball is this year. I can't tell you who's going to win the World Series because I don't think there's a truly dominant team. There really isn't. Because as pissed as we are about the Phillies, they're only 3 games behind from being the best team in baseball, record-wise. Record-wise, being the best team in baseball. That's how bad the league is. That's how bad the league is this year. It really just, there's like not one true dominant team on a consistent basis. You think the Brewers are winning the World Series? I don't know. I don't know. I still don't buy their offense. I don't. Their pitching is always going to be good because the Brewers. I don't know. Every time the Brewers go into the playoffs, they always just seem to choke. I don't buy the Brewers. I really don't. But other things could happen. I really just don't know. I really just don't know. Okay. We have some late breaking news, and this is fucking hilarious. Third time go around with David Robertson. The third time's the charm, boys. The third time is the charm. The third time is the charm. David Robertson to the Phillies. He's probably better than what you have, but Jesus fucking Christ. We're running it back again with David Robertson. How much money did they give him? 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 I want to see. Ken Rosenthal broke the news, so it's just coming out again. How much money did they give him? I haven't said anything because I just saw the number. I think this can't be true. This can't be true. Okay, here's Jeff Passan. Right-handed reliever David Robertson and the Philadelphia Phillies are on agreement on a 1-year deal, as Ken Rosenthal reported. Robertson will receive more than $5 million for the rest of the season on his deal, which is for a prorated $16 million. So he's getting $16 million prorated. So it's $5 million on the cap or the salary, I would assume. It's $5 million on the books. You gave David Robertson 16. That's the guy you're spending money on. I know it's only $5 million on the books. I understand that. But it's the principle. It's the principle. You're giving him 16 million. You're giving David Robertson 16 million. It's the principle. It is the fucking principle that you're giving him 16 million. 40-plus-year-old David. How old is he? He's 40. He's got to be 40 years old, right? He's got to be 40 years old. David Robertson. Baseball. Can I see his fucking age? No, for some reason it's showing a fucking politician. I don't care about that. MLB. How old is he? He's 40. Oh my god. $40-year-old. You're giving 16 million to David Robertson. 16 million, man. You're giving 16 million to David Robertson. I understand. It's $5 million on the books. I understand the books. It's $5 million. You're giving $16 million though to a 40-year-old. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Gage Woods to the bullpen. Alex Carr puts a stat out there. It's easy to diminish how good David Robertson was last year because of his age, but the man was really effective for the Rangers. He had a 1.7 WAR, 3 ERA, a 2.65 FIP across 72 innings with 99 strikeouts. I'm not denying that he probably would be better for this bullpen. It probably would be. Still the principle. You're giving a 40-year-old $16 million. I understand it's $5 million in the books with a prorated salary. I get that. It's still principle. It's still principle. It's still principle. It's still principle. It is still the principle. And they're probably going to make more moves in the bullpen. They're probably going to make more cuts and all that crap. I wonder who they're cutting, if that's the fact. Is Jordan Romano getting cut? Is somebody else getting cut? Is Joe Ross getting cut? I have no idea. Anything else? No. I just find the move obviously hilarious. Red Sox and Tigers, and many others, tried to get David Robertson. Blah, blah, blah. Cut Jose Alvarado. They're not cutting Alvarado. Because in theory, they probably will still... Here's the thing. They're probably still going to use Alvarado. I would assume that's the case. They're probably still going to use Alvarado just to give their bullpen some semblance of depth. But then there's also a question mark that you bring in here. What does Alvarado do? Does Alvarado come back and say, okay, I screwed my team over, I'll do anything possibly can just to help them out? Or he say, I'm not going to pitch in the postseason regardless. I'm just going to go out there and say, fuck it, and do anything he wants. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. So people are trying to bring up that this is basically the Jose Alvarado money. Alvarado forfeited $4.4 million. This is essentially what Robertson's getting, or something like that. Who knows? Training camp starts on Tuesday. Okay, here's a controversial take that I will have. I love the Eagles. I love the Eagles. Don't get me wrong. I could give two shits about training camp. I'm sorry. I can't talk about football. I can't go just that being my focus every single day is football in July. I'll wait for the fucking season to start. And whatever happens in training camp happens in training camp. I can give two shits about training camp. There's my controversial take of the day. I just can't. I can't have that be my priority. Have a training camp be priority. I just can't. Because it's just like, oh god, they did this in training camp today. Oh, they looked like this in training. It's training camp. Of course, they're probably going to look good in training camp. Now, why am I bringing my anger towards the Eagles? I don't know why. I'm just mad. I'm just mad. So I apologize to the Eagles for bringing... I just don't care about training camp. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But here's also the thing that I will bring up. If people start fucking putting their priorities on training camp, that lets the Phillies off the hook. So no, I won't pay attention to training camp. I will be here steadying my shoes about the Phillies. And if there's something that happens at training camp that's worth talking about, we'll talk about it. I can't go every day talk about training camp. I'm sorry. I just can't. It's just not a thing. for me. Sorry. What else is there? What else is there? I don't think there is. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. It's basically just all the David Robertson stuff now. David Robertson, he'll be the first guy out of the bullpen tomorrow. Watch. Bet on it. Bank on it. He'll be the first guy out of the bullpen. He'll be pitching in the ninth. He'll be pitching in the ninth. He'll be pitching in the fucking ninth. He'll be pitching in the fucking ninth inning. Here's also a thing, Sean. I don't give a damn about AEW either. I don't give a damn about AEW either. Oh, man. Okay, yeah, David Robertson will be paid $6.22 million for the remainder of the season. And now people are just like, oh, it's a no-brainer for the Phillies. They're not giving up prospects, all that stuff. They don't care about spending the money and all that stuff. I still, the principle of spending $16 million on a 40-year-old David Robertson. I understand it's prorated. I understand it's $6 million on the books. Blah. Blah. It does improve your bullpen. It does. I'm just being a sourpuss. Third time's the charm, then. Third time's the charm. Third time is the fucking charm. $6 million for maybe 20 innings of work. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, I don't see anything else. So, that'll probably do it for today, people. That'll probably do it for today. So, Phillies lose a series to the Baltimore, not the Baltimore. Why did I think the Baltimore Orioles? The Los Angeles Angels. That's how irrelevant they are. And I thought they were the fucking Orioles for a second. I didn't really think. For some reason, the first name that came to my head was Baltimore. The Angels. The Angels. The Angels. The Angels. Phillies lose a series to the Angels. They also ended up signing David Robertson in the meantime during this entire thing. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Recaps. Phillies are back. Daily basis. Recap those on the daily. So, don't forget to leave your comments and opinions down in the comment section below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal, don't pass it up. I hate this team. I hate this team. I really just do. I really just do. I really just do. Ugh.